I have just launched a mastermind called the Circle of Influence, where I'll be taking you under my wing to show you how to build a platform online that generates an income for you so that you can have more freedom in your life. I'm also going to show you how to become a powerful influencer online so that you can score interviews and so you can get exposure on major publications and platforms. And I'm going to even show you how to build these platforms yourself, such as a website, a podcast, a YouTube channel, and a social media following so that you can get your message out there to millions. I'm also going to show you how to network with other incredible leaders online so that you can interview them and so that you can collaborate with them and really show you how to refine your story so you can share it in an unforgettable way to score more interviews, to score book deals, and to gain more speaking opportunities so that you can become a powerhouse leader. Now, if this speaks to you, make sure you head over to iamjoelbrown.com/apply and get in before I close my doors on this live, interactive, exclusive opportunity where I'm going to go deep with you and with the community of Circle of Influence Game Changers. Don't miss this. Now let's get into this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Addicted to Success podcast. I'm your host, Joel Brown, and I'm here today with a very talented, amazing, transformational coach and business consultant. This is Sonia Zarbatany, all the way out there in Montreal, Canada. And I am so excited for you to get to know Sonia on this episode because Sonia is an absolute beast when it comes to productivity, when it comes to achieving success in business and in life. And Sonia and I are actually running a retreat out in Morocco, Marrakesh. And I cannot wait for you, Sonia, to dive into what it is that you are so passionate about sharing with the world and why every listener should get out there to Morocco, Marrakesh for this retreat that we got coming up. All right. So Sonia, welcome to the Addicted to Success podcast.
Good morning. Good morning from Montreal. So happy to be here.
Nice to finally be able to go deep with my audience. You and I have had so many conversations, and every time we get off the phone, I'm like, oh my God, so inspired. Super powerful conversations of creation. And I just really love for my audience to connect with you in a way where they can get a good understanding of what it means to achieve success in this day and age. Because I know that you were in the corporate world, you know, you work with businesses that are scaling to the hundreds of millions. You've been a part of business success for a long time with a lot of these big brands and businesses. So I really love to dive into this because a lot of the listeners of Addicted to Success are either running a business right now or they're aspiring to be an entrepreneur. And based off the polls that I've been doing lately, I have found that a lot of people are scared to put their money on the table. They're scared to launch their business. They keep working their 9-to-5 job and they're like, man, I'm on the fence and I'm just like, I have this fear around starting my business. So I would love to dive into this with you.
It's so exciting for me to go there with you because it's something that really speaks to me because that was me, you know. To me, I come from a family business. I've been working since I'm 8 in the fashion industry. We own Guess Jeans in Canada, and I was literally groomed from the age of 8 to run big fashion brands. So that's what I was doing. I did XOXO, I did Rampage, I did all of these big fashion brands, and then cut to, I graduated for university and I was like, this isn't it. Like, I don't want to be, the daughter of, I don't want to, like, there was such a fire within me since I was a little girl. There was always this fire. I became a personal trainer. I was huge into fitness. I was so hungry for life. And then I got this opportunity to go and to act in LA and be part of this show called Wild on E. And I got to LA and I was like, okay, maybe this is it, right? And we go through this discovery of what's our gift, what's our passion, what really is that gift that we were given to help and inspire and just really take our life and take other people's lives to the next level. So when I got to LA, I realized that, to me, the acting world was amazing and it was great and I got great opportunities, but that wasn't it. And only once I started deep dive into personal development. So I went, at that time, I was like 24, 25 years old. I was deep into Landmark, NLP. I did all the Tony Robbins, went all the way to Train the Trainer. And then I found it. I was like, this is amazing. And to be honest, it started with fixing myself because I needed to push through these barriers, and I needed to look at fear right in the face and say, what if, what if that fear wasn't there? What could be possible? And I started to play with that, and that felt fun, and it felt scary, felt super scary, but once you shift and once you go through that fear, that's where the magic happens. And that's where I hopped up on stage and started speaking to thousands of people. And I would call back home, and, nobody was understanding what I was doing. They were like, I was charging 500 US an hour. I was 26 years old at the time, speaking on huge stages. And my dad was like, come home and run this business. What are you doing? But I knew that that my gift was one to share. So to me, cut to a few more years later, I ended up moving back to Montreal. Now I'm living, truly, truly aligned with what I'm meant to do, and realizing that the gift is not for me. Your gift is not for you. You and I and your listeners, there's nothing special that God or whatever creation, whatever it is that you believe in, that said, you know what, Sonia's so special, let me give her a little bit more sparkle. He didn't do that, or she didn't do that. That's not how it works. We all have that gift, and the gift is for you to share it. So I'm super excited to go to Mighty Mindset and to go to business, because that's how I know numbers, I know growth, I know scaling. But before we get to this, you have to just take a little time and really go within and really understand, well, what was that gift? What is my gift that I've been giving? And it's time for me to share it. And it's time for me to play big, not just for me, but for your kids, for your family, and for those that you will impact.
Yeah. So how do we do this, Sonia? Because it was great to hear your story. I think it gives some really good context as to why you're so passionate in what you do. But let's say somebody is sitting on the fence right now. They have a business idea, but they're kind of wavering, right? They're sitting there and they're just not making the leap. Where do we start?
You need a plan. Here's the thing. I mean, all day long, I coach entrepreneurs, and people right now are moving into entrepreneurship, but they don't have the tools. School, I don't know about where you're at, but in Canada, and they haven't given us the tools. We don't have the tools. And so many people are wanting to make the leap from a career that they don't love into a passion or into a job that they do. But to make the shift, to make the leap, you need a game plan. You can't, unless you're living at your parents and you're a student, it's incorrect to just say, quit your job, hop in, and, and think positive thoughts. It doesn't work like that. You need a plan, step one, and you need very specific steps. Step one is that clarity. What I spoke about and why I shared my story is because what made it shift was the clarity. The clarity of what it is. What is this new business? What is this new venture? How does this excite me? Because guess what? You're going to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. If you think that leaving your job into, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I don't even know what sleep feels like. I don't know. You work so hard, right? Like,
and you have a family too. It's not like you're just, like single and you've got all this time. You've got a family that you run too.
I'm in my gym right now because my 2.5-year-old was way too noisy in my home office. So I'm like, let me go coach for my gym. And then my 6.5 is at school. And, but what we've done is we've done a new way for entrepreneurs to understand that, one, once you get the clarity of what that is, two, we need to give you the game plan, meaning we actually need to put numbers to it. Because unless you're, living at home, you have expenses. You have maybe a mortgage, a rent, a car payment, all of these payments. So how much is it for you to run your life, right? I'll give you an example. So let's get real specific so that you can actually start building this blueprint. Because this is the kind of stuff that I think you and I both, love to do, is to sit down and go, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so let's build that blueprint. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're, an employee and you're making, let's say, $60,000 a year, right? And now you're thinking, I really want to start this business. Give me an example of a business.
Ooh, let's say it is a service-based business. So let's say that you're a meditation teacher.
Love, right? So now you're super aligned with that. You tap in with yourself. You look at clarity. You're like, I'm clear with this. This is what I want to do. I'm super aligned. I'm going to be able to not only impact my life, but those of others. Phenomenal. Now we have to build a business model for that. We really do. So we have to go, I'm making 60,000 in this job. I want to jump in, take the leap and become, and have a meditation, maybe a studio. And how am I going to make this leap? One is you're going to go, how much will I need to run my life? Maybe you're at 60, but you can be really well stretching yourself at 40, right? Now, if I get you to 40 with this meditation studio, then the leap to the full-time meditation studio will be one that it will work, because you have to test the business first. The leap to, let's just, I love it and let's start doing it. You have to work both businesses at the same time, but guess what? You will love it. The second you start to come home and now you start working at your passion project, you'll be inspired. You'll have more energy. You'll be into it, because guess what? You're doing what you're meant to do and you're doing what you love.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that I did when actually it was quite a while back. It was about 8 years ago. So I was 2 years into running Addicted to Success. I had this rule, this condition within myself that I was going to hustle my face off working in my 9 to 5. Actually, it wasn't even a 9 to 5. It was a 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. job working in the deserts of Western Australia. And I made a rule that I had 4 hours every day. Even though I did a 12-hour shift, I would work for another 4 hours on Addicted to Success. And my goal was that I needed to make 70% of my income from my 9 to 5 or my 6 to 6 in my side hustle, in order to be able to say that was close enough for me to go in and tell my pain in the ass boss it was costing me too much to be here. And the day I hit 70% income, I went in and did that very thing, and I left, and I felt this amazing feeling of freedom. It was because I stuck to my goals,
And that's beautiful, because guess what? Not only did you do that, but you already started working that second hustle. What happens is you have to get into flow. I'm alignment and I'm flow. And flow is a beautiful thing, because you're in it. You're working it. You're used to chunking that time, putting it into that schedule and going, this is work time. And you're becoming already so efficient as an entrepreneur, because you're really becoming a master at scheduling. People ask me all the time, how do I manage, all of these businesses and these retreats and these events and coaching and my kids? My life is a schedule, but it actually calms me down and it makes me highly, highly productive. But you need to train yourself to be at that level. So with that example, which is amazing, because you gave yourself a number, you were like 70%, love it. Other people will say, I need to hit a certain number to be able to facilitate the transition and the leap. And guess what? By having a very specific game plan, you're going to be able to work that second hustle and get into the flow. Customer acquisition will be there. Your numbers will be there. Projections, you'll be able to be there. So everything will start to move towards the goal of you being 100% full time and earning way more than you will as an employee.
Yeah. And even the 30% gap meant that there was that little bit of that back against the wall. So it motivated me even more. I was like, okay, I'm not making 100% of what I did, but that's enough for me to still stay hungry.
Isn't the hunger good though? People, you know what? It's like, I wish if everyone can just take one thing out of today, is the fear, you need to shift it into exciting. Like if people tell me, no, you can't do it, and that seems like a big goal right now. I just acquired a 9,000 square foot event space, co-working space, blah, blah. I'm telling you, people, when they show them the space, they're like, you okay with that? And that ignites you. I love that. That. So learn to actually not just be uncomfortable in this feeling of the unknown, of the fear, but in this space of like, when it's uncomfortable and I'm stretching myself, it's right after that the magic happens, right? And if not you, then who, right?
I like that. If not you, then who? It's so true. And the thing is, when you have that vision that comes to you, a lot of people around you are not going to understand it at that point in time. And most people do have small-minded visions because they haven't really sat down and got clear on what it is that they desire to create in their life. So when they get that small vision, they try and project their small vision on you to justify that what they're holding is okay. But if you don't want an okay life, but you want a great, an amazing life, you can't buy into small-minded visions. You have to have a great plan. You have to have this magnificent obsession in order to be able to achieve it, right?
So much. Like I love, like a magnificent obsession. That speaks to me so much, because once, we've talked about having the plan, then we've talked about being in the flow. What you touched about, and I love that, is trust me, while you're on the climb up, there's nobody's there. Everybody's telling you, especially, if you're a woman. When I did this shift, my baby was like, was what, a year old? And I left a huge position. I was president of Inscamudo. I had these big titles that everybody's very impressed with. And so I had zero support, not from my dad, my husband. Everybody was like, you're crazy. What do you mean that you're going to go back to speaking and coaching and events? Because it's such an insecure, there's no security here, right? But so you have to be so clear on that goal, and it's going to be lonely. But you also have to be very careful with who you share that big goal with, because people, and it's not even their fault. At first I was like, why is nobody supporting me? Why is, and I really was struggling with that. Honestly, I was like, this sucks. I can't find anybody around me that just will support the big game. But then I realized it's not even their fault. They're actually not trying to stop me. They just stopped themselves a long time ago, and they didn't jump in. So for me, it's about really going and moving the noise away and being laser focused, and maybe having, that's why I love coaching and mentorship. Like, go bigger. Go to people that get the vision and only share it with them. Because with people that won't understand, unfortunately, they won't be able to give you any kind of value added on the rise up. So I'm more into get a coach, get a mentor, speak to somebody that's at the level that you want to be. And then you're going to start seeing that it's like, not only will they give you direction, they will give you support, and they will inspire you to keep moving. So sometimes it's good to take your friends to the side and, maybe be very busy, and then they'll come back up. Once you're at the top, trust me, they all come back up.
Yeah. So true. So true. And, a lot of people feel like they're held back by finances, yep, right? Money. So how do we do this? Because I know that you coach a lot of entrepreneurs that need capital in order to be able to build upon their dreams. So what's the approach here?
So what I tell everyone, because it's such a general, and I love that. And it's all, and women, we have to be okay talking about money. There's, for some reason, when it comes to money, even in my coaching questionnaire, I'm always like, how much you make, how much you want to make. But that to me is the same thing as asking you what city do you live in and, what did you have for breakfast? It's only money. Like it's just a number. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like people on a scale. Like, it's just a number. It's a starting point. It doesn't mean anything. But they put so much emotion and so much value of like, this is who I am because I lost this, or I am that. So once we shift the mindset and once we shift the emotion to that number, now we can start to play, right? So let's shift that first. Then what we look at is we have to really open up the possibilities of what is possible. Meaning, it's very easy for somebody to look at you and me or anyone and say, yeah, it must be nice, but you guys have money to invest in your business. We didn't at the beginning, nobody's giving me money to start. Nobody, not my husband, not my dad, no one. So we have to get there. But the way to get there is sit back down and build a strategy and really open up what could be possible. What are these possibilities if you didn't have these limited beliefs that it's not just go to the bank, ask or borrow? How else can you start generating? And there's so much to be done with even exchange. All weekend I was at I'm certifying these coaches, right? And what I was telling them is that, look, you have a phenomenal skill set. You're a coach. Maybe exchange your service as a coach for a web designer. Maybe exchange your services as a coach for somebody that's going to run your social media. Let's start thinking outside the box of just, I need $30,000 to start my business, into how can I generate? And then really start opening it up and really start speaking to the right people and having the right network around you and building that business plan where you're able to start up with some capital, and then you'll be able to grow and scale.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the mindset around money for so many people is very much so instilled within scarcity.
Yeah.
You know, I believe myself that the money in my bank account begins in my mind. It doesn't begin in the bank account. Like, I'm not waiting for it to be in there. I'm like, yo, how can I create this? What must I create in order to bring more of these resources and this amount of energy in, so that I can then transfer it or share it as value in order to be able to create more of what I'm inspired to bring into this world. And I love the way that you really just find ways to create wealth through service, which is amazing because you're impacting and you're also creating income. And then you're then fueling, you know, your event space that you've just purchased. And now you're training other coaches. Oh, yeah. You're running retreats, you know, across the world. And like, so many people I know, when they think about their vision, they aspire to do things like this, but they're just holding themselves back. And there's this fear of rejection of putting themselves out there. So how do we overcome this fear of rejection?
That's a great question. So there's two things. One,
you strike me as a very confident person.
Oh yeah. Right? I thought like the outside validation is really not something that drives me at all. Because it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. You know, to me, once you start tapping within, like being aligned with the decisions that you make in your life, and being able to truly because here's the thing, right? Once you start to generate, and once you start to have this success, all of a sudden, remember those people who weren't there on the rise up, they all show back up. So now I think I closed like 4 different businesses this week. And why? Because here's where I go to. I'm all about service, right? I'm about other people. I really genuinely am, but I protect my castle. Okay. That's a really important concept, because if you're in the personal development space, if you're in the coaching space, if you're in the service space, if what you do is help other people, you have to learn how to protect yourself too, and protect that energy, right? But you always have to go into, how can we really, when you're asking us, how do you shift that mindset, that money mindset, and start stepping into it? Well, first, if you're making it about, how can I serve other people? How can I help other people? What need am I filling? There's something really beautiful that happens. The right people start manifesting themselves into your life. And that's 100% true. The businesses I just took this week was not me going to look for it. It's people coming to me and saying, you're in the flow. I like what you're doing. You're hungry. I want in. So once you're in that flow and you're moving, trust me, the people will come back, and the right people will come back, and opportunities will come to you. So now you're like, that's cute, Sonia. I like that. But how do I even get started, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, so let's get you guys all started. Let's get you started. Okay, first of all, we've talked about, we're going to put some things together, and we're going to create that game plan for you. Okay.
Yes, and take note, guys. If you listen to this right now, get your pen and your pad out and write it down and action it.
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to put it together. Number 1, we had clarity, right? We got that goal. The goal is clear. What does that look like? Now I want you to actually put the business plan together. You don't have to make, now I scared some people. What do you mean? I didn't go to school for this. But just, here's really important. Who's your target market? Who are you selling this to, or who's the service going to, right? Write that down. Who's your target market? Who's your ideal client? Right? Then you and I don't work in a space of competition. We work in a space of collaboration, but we need to know, for this product and service, who else is doing this out there, so that you can put a benchmark together, right? We can have a benchmark. Oh, you have a meditation studio? Great. If we're going to build the business plan on pricing it and who's going to come and all that stuff, we need to look, around and find out who else is doing that. So we're doing that. Now we're going to talk your X factor. How are you better? More luxe, more inexpensive. How are you better? What is your competitive edge? And this to our coaches, this to our trainers, this works to everybody. It's not just, service, it's product. How are you better? Right? Then you're going to go, and I really want, so the business plan is not one that we're presenting the banks. It's one that you're presenting yourself so that you're getting to that clarity, right? How are we going to get to those customers? How are we going to market to those customers? How are we going to get the business to start rolling? So that's the business plan. Remember we talked numbers? Ladies, I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable right now, but this is so good. You need to have numbers. What are your numbers and what are the business's numbers? Okay. We're going to put numbers together so that you will have a clear game plan, right? Once you have that game plan, you know what you're doing. You have those numbers. Remember the network we talked about? We're going to clear the network and we're going to create space for the right people to manifest themselves into your life. Why do you think you showed up in my life? Because you and I are on that same energy and we clicked right away. And people are going to say, well, why are you guys doing a retreat together when I've known you 15 years? It just clicked. We're on that same energy. We're on that same impact. So when you're in the flow and when you're doing what you're meant to do, don't worry. Be alone for a minute. It's okay. The right people will come. You're just not ready for it right now. Same thing with relationships. That's how it works. So it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be razor focused. But right now, you have to be all about your hustle. So then you're going to move the people that are not serving you, get straight on to those who are, and you're going to pick a few top, whether it's a coach, whether it's a successful person on top, who's going to help you around the way. Okay. And those are great. Take the help. You need it right now. You don't have to pay for everything. Take the help. Build a plan. Okay. Now that we have the right people, you have to get into peak performance. The energy has to be there. The mindset has to be there. How do you shift that? One step. You know how you get to go past your fears is you stretch the elastic one more time. So for example, if something scares you today, if you didn't have if one phone call could be made, let me just kiss my kid. Bye. Bye, mon amour. I love you so much. Bye. Love you. Say bye to John. Bye. Sorry, mom moment. Bye, kid. Have a good day. Back at it. All right. The mom line. It's just the real deal. Now,
love it.
Once you have the right people around you, have the right business plan, you're razor focused. Now you need that energy. The mindset is still there. You're still not there. How do we shift it? One success at a time. Here's how we do it. Guys, I hope you still have your pen and paper. I hope you are still writing this down.
Yes.
So how we do it is today, not tomorrow, not the second you finish this podcast, you hang up and you call someone. What's that one call on your to-do list that's been there for 2 weeks that you're scared of? Who's that one person you could contact? What's that? Do one thing that stretches you, but towards your goal. And once you achieve it, celebrate that shit. Celebrate it. Right? Because what's that going to do? You're going to like it a lot. You're going to call. It doesn't matter. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. Okay, next. It's not even important. I'm not even tied to their result. I just want you to make that call, to stretch yourself. And imagine you get a yes, which you will because you're manifesting that stuff. You get a yes. You put the phone down. You celebrate. Your body feels it. It goes into your mind. And guess what? You're going to stretch yourself again tomorrow.
Wow. This is a power plan right here. I love it, Sonia. Absolutely love it. Thanks for sharing your flow, your game plan, the way that you show up, the way that you coach is amazing because I can tell that you've supported so many people just by the way that you're actually teaching this, because some people can be inspiring through sharing their story and some people can do both. They can be inspiring, sharing a story, but also teaching in a way where they know that it's an effective way to do it. And so if you're listening to this right now, Sonia is versed in this, right? So taking it seriously and going, okay, cool, Sonia, I'm going to place bets today. I'm going to write this down and I'm going to action each thing. This is where the results come into play. It's not listening. Like, you can keep listening to episodes over and over again, but it's just, it stays in your head. It doesn't, form in your hand as reality, right? So the key here is to really action what you've just listened to. And on that note, this retreat that we've got coming up in Morocco, in Marrakesh.
I hope you're excited.
Why oh my gosh, like I'm thinking about it every day right now. And I cannot wait.
I hope you're excited.
I cannot wait. Seriously. It's going to be such a game changer. But why Morocco? Like, what's there and what can people expect that come to this retreat?
Honestly, Joel, I'm so happy that you're coming on this journey with me and with us, because this is you do your retreats. This is a game changer. We can speak, and it's so great what you just said also, which is the speaker and how you speak and how you impact people. Your story only goes so far. So even if you're a speaker and you're listening to this right now, let's shift from just storytelling, because nobody cares about your story. It just gives context. It just gives you credibility. Make it about others. Give them takeaways. Give them so much value that they can have something to leave your podcast, leave your speech, leave your coaching, leave your thing with clear takeaways and action steps, and they're ready to go. That's what I'm up to. So imagine putting we're keeping it closed, like 20, 25 people, and we're keeping it tight. And now we impact. There's no bigger transformation than retreats, period. All I do all day is events and coaching and all that stuff. I love it, but in a 90-minute session, we can't deep dive. We give you a blueprint, but now imagine coming with us and feeling that energy and feeling that flow and getting you to finally shift through that money mindset, shift through that relationship mindset. Do you know how many people are struggling with relationships right now? People have never been more connected through online, all these crazy apps, but people have never felt so alone. So what we do in retreats is we get to relationships. We get to what's the self-sabotage? What's the pattern that keeps showing up for you? And how do we start to manifest the right person into your life? Then we go body. How do we, body is so important. As I speak from my gym, body is so important, because we're going to give you the workouts from yoga to meditation to then peak performance training, so that you know exactly what you need to do to get into the flow, to get into the energy, so that your body can be your temple. And we're going to show you how to be so healthy in your foods and in your workouts too. And then we're going to go 4 times mindset, body, relationship, and then we're going to talk about money. And you will leave this retreat with an absolute game plan of exactly where you're taking this new business, of exactly, if you're an employee, how you're going to scale up. We're going to literally give you a customized game plan, because I'm bringing 3 coaches, you, me, and a French-speaking coach, because you're going to learn French, Joel, too. We've got people from Saudi.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Alors voilà, bonjour. Tu vas être complètement bilingue. We're going to do the podcast in French. So we have people from Morocco, Tunisia, Saudi, from obviously Montreal, Toronto, LA, from really all over the world. And that creates a group and a community that will be your biggest supporters. Like, these are going to be the people, because they'll have our mindset, that will champion your success, that will be there for your success. And in a retreat setting is really the perfect place to truly get to transformation. Why I chose Morocco, to answer your question? I'm born in Casablanca. I did a retreat in Greece, which was the most game changer thing in June. And now I want to take them back to where I was born, because I truly believe that the roots are let's go back to the roots, right? And then I believe in experiences. I believe that in order for you to shift and see what's possible, we need to bring them to the most glorious and beautiful places in the world. So we're bringing you to palaces, to a palace that no money can buy. These rooms are 9,000 euros a day. And we're going to spend the whole day at this palace and go into what's possible. But imagine you looking at your money mindset and setting up the game plan from the view of a palace. And then we're going to take you to the desert, and we're going to spend the whole day, and we're going to party at night in the desert, because we're really going to go through, and that'll be mindset, right? And we're going to ride some camels, and we're going to go to the Marrakesh souks, and we're going to see how happiness is not, you know, money, a certain number on your scale or in your bank account. You're going to see some people that have nothing, and they're happy. They're really happy. So to me, you know, I'm so happy that you're taking this journey with me and with us. And that's the true impact. Like, I'm excited to have our people, your people, our people come together and really experience the power of true transformation, of taking that leap and of playing big.
Yes, like, you know, wait, seriously, I've never actually ridden any camels before.
That would be epic.
I think just the experience of being in a place like that would just, this is the one thing I know for sure, is that so many of my breakthrough moments in personal transformation has come through traveling the world, you know, going to different cultures, and even just putting myself in challenging situations, taking myself out of the comfort zone. I think the fact that someone just gets on a plane and leaves the country they're from, that's already the start of their journey of transformation, because they're deciding to move out of their comfort zone. And here's the thing, your comfort zone is your identity. That's why your unconscious gets super guarded and tries to pull you back into it, and sends all these funny feelings through your body of fear and all these like illusion-based emotions so that you stay where you are, because it doesn't want you to step outside of the identity. In order for you to be able to achieve the very thing that you desire most, you're going to have to change your identity to get there. And so that's what it means to jump on a plane, to go to a space where you don't know anyone just yet, to create new connections, to be stretched and to be held accountable, and to start learning what to focus on, and to learn how to create clarity in your life, to actually have a vision that is rock solid, that's your masterpiece for life for the first time ever. Like, all these things are going to shift your identity in order for you to be able to reach that level of success. And, you know, my good friend Gary Vaynerchuk says, if you're not embarrassed of the person you were 6 months ago, you aren't growing fast enough. It's just so true, you know? So this is your opportunity to do just that in a different place in the world with Sonia and I cannot wait for you to be a part of it. How do we find out about this retreat? How can my listeners apply if they're listening to this right now and they're like, you know what, you're speaking truth into me. This resonates. This is in alignment. Let's do this.
Yeah. You know, I'm so honestly, I'm humbled that we're able to give, you know, our listeners, our people, this experience, and just maybe look at yourself and say, whatever's showing up for you right now when you're listening to this and saying, and now it's the excuses, right? Whatever, you know, it's the kids, it's the no, not enough time, the kids, not enough money, not enough. Put that aside. Just come. Honestly, book the ticket. Just come. Because whatever it showed up for you is probably what's stopping you in so many other areas of your life. And it's probably the very reason why you need to come. So, you know, we're going to create a space that is so safe for you, that is, you know, so special. And it's going to be a space for you to truly take that gift that you deserve, you know, and so few people really get to take the time, and it's 5 days, and you deserve it. And we are so committed. The second that, like, we're so committed, like, we're so on, we just want, this is what we do. Like, it's not about us anymore, you know? And like, it's not, we're so past this part. It's about others, and it's about creating this magic moment where we're all going to be champions. We're all going to be friends. We're all going to be there to really support you through that rise. So whatever it is that's showing up, don't make that stop you. And yeah, just go CoachSoniaRetreats.com. So Coach Sonia, Sonia, retreats.com, apply, and leave the rest to us. Leave, honestly, everything to us. So don't make those excuses, and just come on this like magical, impactful journey. This is not a trip. This is a journey. This is the beginning.
Yes. See, there's a difference between inspiration and transformation.
That's right.
Okay. So get ready for it. And usually the transformation lies within having the thing that you did not know was actually prevalent in your life revealed to you. And this happened to me so many times, going to events, getting mentors, even investing in mentors where I was paying $10,000, $20,000 for mentorship. I was doubling down on everything that were supporting me in. And I realized like, wow, they're revealing to me things that I did not know was even there, or that I was avoiding at all costs because I felt I had this illusion that it was going to be painful. And then when I broke through it, I was like, oh my God, I wish I did this earlier.
Yeah, I'm going to LA tomorrow to speak in this private mastermind, 100 people only. They pay $30,000 to have the best mentors in the world fly down and really mentor their business. And, yes, I'm all about setting that intention and what can I, what's the intention? And once you start investing in yourself, it's something that's so that it's addictive. Why? Because that's where you're able to stretch and push and see what's not possible. And, yesterday I'm working on this other thing, and that's what I did. I called my mentor and I was like, all right, what am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? Because we know what we know. We don't know what we don't know. So by having a mentor and by having somebody that is able to really take you there, and not just take you there, take you to a place that you didn't even know existed, take you and make you shift that with something that maybe you're going to come into the retreat and say, I want to come in because of relationships, or I just want to shift, or I want to quit my job and go into something else. But then by looking at the other categories in your life, you're going to realize the true what's possible. And you're going to go, not just the happy thinking, we're going to give you a game plan in relationships. You're going to have that game plan. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married, whether you're single, it's time to manifest the right people into your life, the right opportunities into your life. And it's time to start playing big. And it's time to start taking the leap. So I'm excited to take you on this journey. I'm super excited.
Amazing stuff. Sonia, what was a belief or perspective that you held in your mind for so many years that recently, whether it's this year, last year, a couple of years back, you totally removed because you're like, wait a minute, that's not serving me, and you broke through it? Because there may be some listeners right now that are listening that are like, oh my gosh, that's what I believe right now. And in order for them to be able to transform their results in their life, they must shift their beliefs and perspectives.
Mine is so, it's even the reason why I got into serious deep dive coaching was I always had the belief that if I played big enough, that I would sabotage my marriage. If I played big enough, that nobody would be able to roll with me. And that pattern kept showing up all the time for me. I was proposed to and I was like, no, because I'm not even playing right now. I'm just warming up. And I always thought that because when it comes to men, you guys, I looked at Kevin Hart's Netflix special and I love The Rock, and they're hungry and they're hustling and they're doing their thing and everybody's bowing down going, wow, like you guys are crushing life. But when it comes to women, people watch me on stories and on stories. And the reason why I share so many stories is I want to show them what it takes. Yeah, that's real cute to show the success, but that's not what I'm trying to show you. I want to show you the kind of hustle it takes to run the businesses and have the lifestyle that you want. But you know what people tell me all the time? Aren't you tired? And how do you do it with the kids? Nobody's telling The Rock, like, buddy, like, aren't you tired? Or what about your kids? And is your wife okay with this? Like, people will stop my husband all the time and be like, your wife, like, she doesn't stop. Like, you're okay with this? Right? So for me, and I look, to say that I completely shifted out of it, I'm still working on this. That's my biggest one, because I'm still, now it's global. So, but now I have tools. I really do. Because when I was single, it was like, I'd rather be single because I'm good on my own and just doing what I love and impacting people. But I was like, if I'm on bigger stage and if I'm on, will you still be there or will that start intimidating you? If I start playing big, will you hang out or will you be like, that's enough, I tap out, right? So that was 100% what I got from a deep dive into, is that really is that really true? Or is that some story and some programming, some deep programming that I have, you know? And I realized that it is a story that I made up for myself. And it was stopping me from creating meaningful relationships because I thought I would always self-sabotage them, right? And I thought that they would get at some point that I would become too much and that they would just be like. So to me, the power of transformation is to be able to shift those beliefs and to say, well, what if that's just a story? And what if there is some man out there that is actually loving that about me? And that's not intimidating, and that's not scared, and that it loves me to play big and will support and will understand that I'm not doing this for followers or for the limelight or to be popular. I'm the opposite. Like, get me off the stage, I'm a hoodie in and I'm in the car and I'm like, hide me. Like, this is not, I'm doing this for impact and I'm doing this for other people. I don't do this for I'm not trying to be famous, but it does come with certain things. So for me, by really shifting into the possibility that somebody could love that is something that was really, really transformational for me and allowed me to get married, allowed me to have kids, and allows me to now be a master balancer on, you know, living this big life and being a mom and having a successful relationship in marriage too. And now being able to not only to teach other women how to do that, but to also show them and share with them tips that work and like things not to do, you know?
Yes, such a powerful reminder. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that with us. I feel like relationships are going to teach us so much in life. I remember I would have this story because we create stories around everything, right? I had this story of that I needed to treat relationships like a business. If my business wasn't working very well, I would just pour even more into it. And I would be like, there's got to be a way to fix this and make it work. And I would then find myself often in relationships where they had reached the expiry date and I'd like try and fix it still. And then after coming out of that, I created another story of what I would start attracting people I really wanted in my life. And then I would then go, but what if I could get even more or even better or evolve even more and then outgrow that person? You know, so I've had to like go in and heal those parts of my relationship or even how I view relationships. And it's funny how business and relationships just challenge us and encourage us and support us so much. The deeper we dive into it, it demands more from us. And it's a big call on your life to say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur and actually live by that. Or, hey, I'm dedicating myself to be, you know, a committed wife or a committed husband, wherever it may be, and dive into that too, I'm sure.
And I think, you know, that's why I love retreats more than, you know, even it's pretty much my favorite thing because that's where the magic happens. Like that's where the vulnerability happens. That's where the stories are. And that's where you can really connect and see that like, look, we're all still working on things, all of us, you know, but there's actual tools that we can teach, that we will teach, and you will leave with that you can use right away. And you will see the patterns. You will see that where it even came from. You know, like I'm deep NLP, right? We'll take you there, and then we'll create the safe space, and then we'll create a new possibility that maybe your relationships can shift into a new possibility of being with somebody that supports you, and maybe shifting this new possibility of creating you into the person that will manifest that right person to show up in your life. So you're not going to be spending your day on Tinder and Bumble. You know, I don't know if they have that in South Africa or in Bali, but here it's pretty famous.
Yeah,
but,
we do.
Okay, good. but you know, we want to take you into having like these actual relationships and these actual connections that feed what you need, you know? I think that's what we need so much. It's like, yeah, we'll make you money. That's the easiest part. Like, that's like, we do that shit in our sleep. Like, scaling your business, come to us. This will be the easiest. And then we'll go deep dive and we'll get you all the other magical things that you want in your life. It's time.
Yeah. So guys, if you're listening, it's Coach Sonia Retreat. .com, okay? Not with an S on the end, just coachsoniaretreat.com.
Yeah.
And you can check out the details of the Morocco retreat if you want to join Sonia and I in Marrakesh. All right. It literally is in 45 days from today, March 12th to March 17th. Oh, going down, experience your dream life in beautiful Morocco, Marrakesh. All right. And get ready for a transformation. So real quick, Sonia, I know you need to bounce out soon. Just share with us in a nutshell, Power Punch, PowerPoint, ... What are 3 to 4 business principles that we must embody?
Oh, I like that. I like these. Okay, so one is scheduling. You have to schedule. I'm telling you, you have to create these spaces and these moments where you're, especially as an entrepreneur, especially for those of you who are starting these new businesses, chunk that time. And what I want is today, let's do things that they can do today. That's like the best thing, right? Right now, today, I don't know what time well, for me, it's starting our day. So this is, hopefully you're listening to this in the morning or listen to it again tomorrow morning. Podcast, you can listen to it all day long. But every single morning, what I want you to do is 3 things. Write down 3 things. We all have these big to-dos, but what are 3 things that you can do in your life that will make you move the business forward? So put the to-do list aside and say, okay, who do I need to call? What do I need to do to be able to move your business forward? That's unbelievably important, because then it's like once you've achieved those 3 things, you know that you're moving towards that goal too. And then what I also want you to do, the big goals, chunk it down to the 90-day, to the 60-day, to the 30-day. Then let's look at it for this week. This week, who do you need? How many clients do you need to close in order to get to that goal? How many people can you network with to be able to get to that goal? I'm going to even throw in a little relationship, because I know I'm going to help a lot of people in there too. You're single, your man or your woman is not going to knock at your door. So write one networking event, whether it's business, whether it's pleasure, do one thing that's stretching you and getting you out there so that you can start meeting the right people, right? Both in your relationship and both in your business too. So work your business, put the people away, be razor focused, make it a game plan, chunk out the time, and let's get to work.
Oh, powerful. Thank you, Sonia. Great stuff. Thank you for sharing that. I know if you're listening right now and you've got these notes in front of you, this is really your opportunity to have a look through it in order to your life. Like, I often will sit down and go, okay, what do I know for sure has worked really well for me? And the second question is, how consistently am I sticking to this? Because that's where it shows up. It's the consistency, right? It's a lot of people are like, oh, Joel, how did you get so successful with what you're doing? And I'm like, it's the uncool, unsexy, sharpening the axe and swinging the axe at the tree each and every day until that tree falls down. Like, it's not really this glorified thing, right? Like, scheduling doesn't sound fun and exciting, but when you actually start sticking to it and then you see the results come into your life, you're going to want to do it more and more often in order to be able to create more flow, structure, and alignment in your life.
Like, to me, planning my week on Sunday is like, anybody that follows me on social, that's my thing. On Sunday, my whole week is done, because then you're never behind the 8 ball. And every night before I go to bed, I know what I'm doing the next day. So you're waking up and my workouts are in. I'm telling you, fitness, no matter what you're doing, move your body. It will be a game changer in your productivity. And everybody's going to tell you, I have no time. Trust me. Trust me. Make that a priority in your life. Move your body, get into action. And that will start, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whether it's a high intensity. Move your body and really get into that zone. And feed your mind the same. We feed our body. Feed your mind. Get that positive stuff in your mind. Listen to these podcasts. It's so good for you. It's going to get you pumped, and then you will be able to move into action in your life and in your business.
Yes, so many great shares, Sonia. Thank you so much. Sonia, how do we find you online?
First thing, I'm super active over Instagram. So Sonia Zarbatany, and Zarbatany is ZARBATANY. So Instagram is definitely that. If not, coachsonia.com, soniazarbatany.com. And let me take you on this journey. Let me give you the behind the scenes. And there'll be some pretty magical moments in Marrakesh too. But guys, the most important thing, come with us to Marrakesh. So coachsoniaretreat.com. Apply, come with us, come on this journey.
Yes, love that. So Sonia, I'm just about to wrap up this interview with you. The last question is, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
No pressure. Let me get into my head for just 1 second. Okay. That's a good question, Joel. Your last 30 seconds is, what legacy do you want to leave in your life? We're all here for a purpose. We all have that gift. And it's time for you to share yours. If you are someone that wants to make an impact in the world, in your family, in your home, it's time for you to lean in and get that gift. Because it's for you to share that gift. It's for you to share your purpose and find these magical moments in your life. Don't spend your money on things. Spend your money on experiences. Because I don't remember the last day that I stayed late at the office or slept in the morning. So start putting your alarm early and start jumping into life and start enjoying your life and start investing in these experiences for you, for your kids, and for those that you love. Once you start working from your heart and not from your head, once you start getting out of the noise in your head and start speaking and start resonating from your heart, that's where the right people will start to show up for you. That's where the right experiences, that's where even the right businesses will start. So come from your heart and then share that gift with other people. It's all about connection. We strive for these moments of pure connectivity, pure love, and pure gratitude. So really today, go out there and share your gift and share your love. And so many people will be impacted by that, from a little kid that you have to, bigger stages and bigger worlds. And I'm telling you, don't waste another day playing small. It's not serving you, it's not helping you, and it's not serving anybody else.